Thanks, Alan. Now, last year, Team Hope distributed 250,000 gift-filled shoeboxes to some of the world's most vulnerable children. Earlier this year, Sinead travelled with Team Hope to Swaziland, a tiny country in southern Africa, to see your shoeboxes being distributed. Despite its small population, Swaziland has the highest HIV prevalence in the world and has been greatly affected by the epidemic. Let's take a look.
Swaziland has the highest HIV and AIDS prevalence in the world, affecting roughly 1 in 4 people. The disease has had a devastating impact on the country, and almost an entire generation has been wiped out.
In terms of awareness and information about HIV, there's been a huge improvement. We're coming from times where people didn't know what HIV was. People would not get tested even if they knew. But now we're making huge progress, and there's so many people that are coming to test by themselves, and also WHO is also recommended provider-initiated testing and counseling. So when people come, we just offer HIV just as any other blood test. So we've managed to test a lot of people. I think there's still challenges with some populations. Men, for example, we still don't get as many of them coming to test as we'd want to. Yeah.
The impact of HIV and AIDS has led to the disruption and destabilisation of families. HIV and AIDS in Swaziland has seen an entire generation wiped out, leaving children to fend for themselves and their younger siblings in child-headed households. We visited one of these households to hear their heartbreaking story. In this small hut, a 19-year-old girl is caring for her 15-year-old brother, cousin and 18-month-old baby with little to no food or security.
It's just the 3 of you, really, and your little baby. How old is your baby? 18 months?
Yes.
18 months old. And is that difficult for you to be a mum on your own here?
She's saying there is not any difficulty so far.
Can you bring your baby to school?
The problem is that no one can live with the child, especially because she doesn't know her father. Mother passed away when she was very young.
So she's all on her own?
Yes. It is very hard for them to live because everything they just do them by themselves. So it's very hard, and it's very heartbreaking because they're very young.
And are they in danger? Is it safe for them?
It's not safe because some people, they take advantage for that. There is no parents at home. Maybe they can abuse them sexually.
So they might be sexually abused?
Yes.
Which is very scary.
Yes.
So we've just left a child-headed household living in the hut behind me. I'd never heard the term child-headed household until I came here to Swaziland. We just met a 19-year-old girl who has a young baby who literally has never known her mother or her father, and she's bringing herself up and she's looking after her cousin. She was opening her shoebox there and she was giving her cousin the school pens and the school pencils and the copybooks that were in the box because she cares more about him, so she's mothering him as well. But she's very vulnerable. We heard there that sexual abuse is rife, and as a young woman all on her own, she is incredibly vulnerable. It is so far removed from the safety and comfort and love that we take for granted at home every day in Ireland. And it's heartbreaking. I don't know what else to say.
Roughly 100,000 children in Swaziland are orphans and grow up without their parents. Established in 2006, the Children's Home of the Fortress Ministry in Manzini provides a home and loving care to children from desperate circumstances. Many of these vulnerable children have witnessed the brutal death of a parent or have seen a parent die of AIDS. Some of them have been left to fend for themselves at ages as young as 2, and some have suffered unimaginable abuse.
Currently we have 12 children, but we've had more than that in the past years. Some that have been here and gone.
And the children are here because they lost their parents as a result of AIDS?
Yes, the children are here because they've lost their parents as a result of AIDS and
other issues.
It is a big problem.
Yeah.
When you're doing like interviews with the children, I mean in the feeding stations that we work with, you find that maybe 70% of them are HIV positive.
Yeah.
So it's a big problem.
It's a big problem. Is there still stigma against people getting tested and maybe using contraception?
I know the country has come a long way,
Yeah.
and it shouldn't be, but I think they still do, because you can tell by the number of people that are still getting infected.
The children are all provided with an opportunity to attend school, as well as loving, nurturing care from their house mother. They have bonded as a family, and the children are all thriving in this environment. Currently, there's 12 children living in the fortress, and one young man thriving is 18-year-old Pinda, who is hoping to become the first from the orphanage to go to university.
And what do you want to study at university?
I just want to do engineering.
Engineering, wow.
Yeah.
And to stay in Swaziland to work?
No,
Where would you like to go?
I like to go to America.
To America?
Yes.
Why America?
Because they got so much resources, and maybe if I could go and work there and I will come back to Swaziland for my family and to take care of them with the resources I got.
This is a family. That's why we even though we want to help more, but we want to keep it as a family.
Yeah.
We don't want to institutionalize it.
Yeah.
Yes, because we want the love of God to be felt. We want the familyhood to be experienced, because for some of them they'll never experience a family, or will never see a family structure in existence.
So this is their family, this is their home.
Family. And sometimes when I look at them, I see that they are really developing it, even though they come from different backgrounds.
Education is very highly regarded, and every time these children open up the shoeboxes delivered by Team Hope, the most prized possessions are always the copybook, the pencil, and the things that will help them in school. All of the children we met had different ideas on what they would like to become when they grow up. Be it a teacher, a doctor, or a nurse, they all wanted to come back and help the other children in the orphanage, which was amazing to see.
Absolutely gorgeous report there from Sinead. I'm sure it was an absolutely life-changing trip. And you can make a life-changing difference to some of those kids. Please help us by making a gift-filled shoebox to give to some of the world's most vulnerable children, many of whom will receive no other gift this Christmas. Last year, over 250,000 boxes were collected, and thank you very, very much for all of that. And we'll be setting this year's target on Friday's programme. For more information, log on to teamhope.ie and follow the appeal on the Ireland AM Facebook page.